Hello and welcome to the Vital Adjustment Podcast. We're your hosts, Dr. Austin Boykin and Dr. Wesley Disbro. Our mission is to make health simple and provide you with simple health advice to get you started on your path towards a better life. Dale, do you want to tell us what we're talking about today?
Today, we're going to focus on the importance of physical exercise and what it can do to your overall health and improvement. There's a lot of little things that we can do to start building up your resistance training, building up your strength training. It doesn't have to be you in the gym 5 days a week, 7 days a week, pumping huge weights, but just strengthening your body is going to help you prevent all kinds of disease in the long run. And the sooner you can get started, the better for you.
Yeah, there's really no age gap on this. I mean, except for little kids. I'd say anybody over the age of 15 or 16 should probably start some kind of sports or resistance exercise. People always think, oh, I'm too old to start this, or I have osteoarthritis, or something, is what I hear all the time in my practice. The reality is you're never too late to start. I have people in their 90s that exercise. I have 16-year-olds that are in sports that are doing some kind of resistance exercise. It's just the quicker you start, the better you're going to feel. You got to think about it like a retirement account, right?
Yeah.
Like compounding interest. The more you invest in yourself, the better you feel in the long term.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you're a baby. I mean, babies aren't going to be working out, but
But they're
little
crawling,
kids, but
cross crawl.
even as a baby, even as kids, as they're growing, watching my son who's 2 just try to hold himself up at the playground and climb and do different things. All of that is going to help grow at some point. You can do body weight exercise, you can do weight training, you can find what's going to work for you, and if you can make it fun, then that's how you make it consistent. The key is being consistent with it. You can't go once a week and expect fantastic results. If you've never worked out and you start going once a week, you're going to see some results. At the end of the day, it might be minor, but the more consistent you can go, the better you're going to find yourself feeling, moving, and overall improving your quality of life.
Yeah, I mean, Aristotle's quote's one of my favorite. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. And that really comes down to exercise or anything else you do. It's, repeated actions equal results.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk a little bit about some research regarding like why you should exercise, but in general, ACSM guidelines, which is the American College of Sports Medicine, the minimum you should do is 120 minutes of moderate exercise per week. And you don't need a heart rate monitor, you don't need anything like that. A moderate exercise is just where when you're speaking, it's called zone 2, is when you can't formulate a complete sentence, but you can get a couple words out. Dale, do you want to kind of elaborate on a little bit of that? Like what you could be
Um,
doing?
Yeah, so when it comes to what types of workouts you can do, there's 2 types. You have your cardio and resistance. Both are going to affect different outcomes. Those are both are going to affect different things. So the way I like to kind of break it down is cardio is going to be your way to burn calories in an instant. So if you're going out for a walk, if you're going out for a jog, the when you're doing the activity, that's where you're going to be burning your calories. That's where you're going to be
Yeah.
making the changes in your body, repairing the growing the muscle, whatever you want to call it. But the moment you stop that exercise, the burning of the calories is going to go on for a little bit longer, but it relatively stops right as soon as you're done with the exercise or the activity. Where when you do switch over to resistance training, you now by yourself upwards of 24, 48 hours. Some studies even show up to 72 hours of calorie burning
Yep.
afterwards. And that's because your body's going to be going through a much more intense repair of those muscles. It's breaking them down and rebuilding them. Um, and you're going to get some of that with cardio, but in the long run, if I had to pick one or the other, I generally tell my patients to start with some sort of resistance training. You can include cardio in there. I always tell them to use that as their warm up or their cool down before they end, but I want the bulk of their focus on resistance training.
Yeah, that's what I tell my patients as well. It's like you can do cardio all day long. You can go on your walks. It's all excellent. It's awesome, especially like postprandial, which means after a meal. If you can get in
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes of like walking or some kind of cardio exercise after a meal, that's awesome because it'll help with those like insulin spikes and kind of balance out your metabolic syndrome and stuff, especially if
Mm-hmm.
you have that. Like if you're a diabetic with high blood sugar, something like that. That's like the easiest way to kind of balance that after a meal. But yeah, the resistance exercise is huge. I stress it for everyone. I mean, we have some data here, so it might look like we're reading a little bit. We just want to make sure we get the facts right. But I wanted to pull up some studies. There's an infinite amount of studies on this going back 20 years. Aerobic exercise or cardio reduces the risk of cardiovascular events by 30%. That's been known for like a really long time. There's a 31% reduction in the risk of infectious diseases. That was a 2021 study. That means, all your stuff we've been dealing with, especially for the last, 5 or 6 years, you're talking about reduced risk of COVID, reduced risk of colds, reduced risk of flus, 30%. That's 1 in 3. So that's a significant reduction. And then a huge thing that I see in my clinic is women over the age of 40 to 50, postmenopausal. A huge thing there with resistance exercise is bone density loss. You start losing a couple of percent or 0.5% a year with weight bearing exercise, which is resistance. You can actually increase bone mineral density by 1 to 3% annually. So that stops that reduction curve, which puts you at a higher risk for fracture. And that's huge in postmenopausal women.
Not only that, it actually looks, I mean, the studies show that it can reverse it.
Yep,
And
yep,
the
yeah,
more you
DEXA
do,
scans.
it's not only are you going to stop yourself from seeing that decline, you're going to actually be building up a stronger bone structure to
Yeah,
prevent stuff like that. And that goes into balance, which is a huge thing as people age.
huge.
The more strong your lower body is, the better you're going to be able to prevent not only the fractures, the different things that come with aging as the bones get weaker, but you're also going to be building balance, building ability to continue to move around. No one wants to be stuck in a nursing home. Nobody wants to be stuck in just the rocking chair, not being able to move. But the better that you can get up and move around and have that balance by strengthening your lower body, your coordination, that carries a long way. And it's like I said, like we said, you don't have to be doing a bunch of crazy acrobatics at 80, but
Yeah.
just simple things to intentional focus on different areas of weakness is going to help you maintain your quality of life, maintain your ability to take care of yourself, and prevent any, like we said, infectious diseases. It's just huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like Dale said, like especially for like my or Dr. Wesley, my older clients, huge thing I have them do is just like sit to stand exercises. So they're sitting in their chair. I just want them to stand up, sit, touch the chair, and stand up again. Get up, walk across the room, come back, sit down. Because if you can preserve that lower leg strength, you're gonna be able to take care of yourself longer or another loved one longer, your
Mm-hmm.
spouse. That's a huge thing. People don't think about it. In American society, we're naturally a little bit overweight. We don't eat that great, but a great way to kind of just stay mobile, regardless of weight or age, is to continually exercise. And resistance exercise is huge. Cardio is great, resistance is better.
Yep.
Dale, do you want to talk a little bit about, I mean, another thing that kind of plagues our society, or Dr. Wes, we have, depression, things like that, how this can
Yeah.
improve that as well.
So, what the research shows is exercise is going to be one of your best tools in fighting depression, anxiety, and different mental health disorders because it gives you such a strong outlet to, at least in my case, when I go to the gym, it's my time to just decompress, focus on myself. Maybe I like to watch a video sometimes on YouTube, just do whatever I want to do. If it's on my phone, I try
Mhm.
to just bring it in. But what the research shows is it can reduce depressive episodes in adults by up to 20 to 30%. And I think
That's
some
huge.
studies, I think Tony Robbins did a study, it was a couple years ago, where he found that the more you exercise and move your body, I think he said his study was closer to 90, 80%. I'd have to look more into that.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
it was a huge, huge number, and I think
Hmm.
the bigger part of that study was the people that did go through that and started to exercise didn't revert back into the pills and the drugs to help keep them stable.
Yeah.
They were able
Less
to
relapses.
maintain that, yes.
Yeah.
On top of that, it also can help increase brain nootropic factors, which is going to help your ability to retain information and learn. And
Hmm.
it's going to help you sleep better, so you're going to get better recovery because your body's going to be looking for that chance to rest and decompress. It can help insomnia, improve sleep duration by up to 40 minutes. So, just in terms of mental health, it can really go a long way too.
Yeah. It makes a big difference. I mean, you've seen clients that aren't sleeping, you know how they
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Just people that are the hardest part with this one, especially the mental health part, is people that typically are on the gloomier side, maybe feeling a little blue or depressed,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to motivate them to go to the gym. And what I tell people is like you kind of said last time, motivation wanes. It's habits
Mm-hmm.
that create, change. So like we've gotta just kind of push through things. And I know it sounds like really hard to do, but just getting out there and getting moving, even if it is just a walk or something, just
Yeah.
especially getting outside, getting some fresh air. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all part of exercise. We like resistance for all the health benefits we've already talked about. There's more, we could go on and on. I know, like in my practice, I see a lot of people with metabolic syndrome and prediabetes. I think, what is it now? 70% of Americans are pre-diabetic, I think,
Yeah.
is what we're looking at now. As far as chronic disease prevention, we already touched on it, but exercise can improve insulin sensitivity by 40%. That's huge. And it decreases all cause mortality by 29%. That's all causes. I don't
Yep.
care cancer, diabetes,
Mental health.
infection, mental health, depression. It's literally everything. This is a huge study. It's been going on for, I don't know, what, 12, 15 years now or
It's
more.
been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just literally shows everything decreased. 10 to 20% lower risk of breast and colon cancers. Colon cancers are up like 75% in our generation, which is like 25 to 40-year olds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so this is a huge deal, and people need to really start finding that time. And everybody has a busy schedule. I mean, we're both working full time. We're treating
Mm-hmm.
patients, we're doing paperwork. Dale's dealing, or Dr. Wesley's dealing with his family. Everybody, but you got to find that time, and it
And
really is imperative that we do so.
and like we said, a minimum of 120 minutes. You can break
Mm-hmm.
that down. You have 7 days a week. What does
Mm-hmm.
that come out to? Roughly 30 minutes
Two,
a day,
yeah, little
if
little more
if
than two
that.
hours in a week.
So you can definitely make time for this. It's like we said too, you just have to be intentional.
Yep.
It has to be something that you are going to force into your schedule in the beginning. I took a long time off of going to the gym, working out, especially even while I was in chiropractic school. I didn't go hardly at all. I focused
Mm-hmm.
mostly on school, and getting started going back in to the gym was very difficult at first.
It's hard.
So what I did to myself was just go through the motions, put the shoes on, drive to the gym, get started. The moment I got there, all that doubt or whatever was holding me back from going just washed away, and I was there, and it was time to go. And
Yep.
then by the time you're walking out, you are accomplished something. You feel great. At the very least, just knowing that you did something difficult for the day and helped yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
Even if you ignore all the other health benefits, just doing
Mm-hmm.
something difficult and challenging yourself in life is going to help you grow to measures you won't even believe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you could talk about this a little bit more than I can. My schedule's busy, but I don't have a family really. I mean, I have
Yeah.
like, I don't have an immediate family or wife, but trying to find that time to schedule with your spouse as well, especially if you're dealing with
Yeah.
kids, where you can both have a little bit of time to focus on your physical health. I feel like that's something I hear about all the time that's hard to schedule, but you can do it. You can find the time. You can do some stuff at home if you need to, to stay
Hmm.
around the kids. Ideally, you have a dedicated zone to get your head into that space, which is why we like gyms, but it's not expensive. You
The
can do it as simple as kinesthetics at home, which takes zero cost at all.
hmm
Resistance is kind of needed. We prefer some kind of weight band, something. You can find something, but finding that time is it really
But
is
even
essential for health.
body weight exercises,
Oh, it's
doing
fantastic.
doing
It's
push-ups,
fantastic.
doing sit-ups,
Yep.
there's
Squats.
plenty of apps out there that
Mm.
calisthenics is what that type of workouts is called. So there's so many apps and tools to find to help you find exercises they start simple with general push-ups if you can't do a regular push-up starting on your
Mhm.
knees, and they can work you all the way up until you're doing handstand push-ups, and those are, no matter what exercise you're doing, it's that progressive, getting a little bit more difficult, challenging each time.
It's that
Um,
investment, that intention.
Whether it's with weights, whether it's with your body weight, you can do it, and all of it's beneficial. Going back to what you said about dividing up the time between work and family, with our 2-year-old at home, Gabe, he will just jump right on into, if we throw something up on the TV and it's simple stretching, he'll do it with us. And it's one of his favorite things. If we go into the closet and grab the weights out, he's one of the first ones to just run and carry the weight out, and he'll just do the squats with us. So kids love to be a part of that too, and then they watch you, and we can really change the way America. We can change that obesity issue that we have by just instilling a love of exercise into our children. And especially at a young age, that will just carry on with them throughout their entire lives, whether it's into sports or just loving to take care of themselves.
Yep. Yep. Just get them started, improve that and invest in your health. Let's invest in your health. The earlier you do it, the better you are. I think that's kind of the basis. Again, we're trying to keep this simple for you guys, something 10 to 15 minutes that you guys kind of learn something a little bit and get some information out there. Check out our website, socials. Dr. Wesley's always writing blogs. And updating people on what to do. We talk about general stretches for mobility.
I try to include different programs in there try to include videos too.
Absolutely.
Real quick, Austin, before we go, what are some of the ways that you talk to your patients to get them started? If we're going to give everyone a way to get into it, where do they start?
Yeah, so like my toolkit for success to get people started, especially if they've never done this before, if it's somebody age 20 to 30, I always kind of promote like a gym membership, even 40 to 50. I think a gym membership, something Crunch, Planet Fitness, I don't care if it's $10 a month. You don't have to do the big fancy $200 a month gyms. I think it's a good place to start. Most people can budget that in. Set a hard schedule. I try and push this on people. If you have a 9 to 5, your schedule, set a hard schedule. If you're a shift worker, it's a little bit harder. Find your time. Best in that time, communicate clearly with your spouse or partner, or if you're by yourself, communicate clearly with yourself. Find the time, start with something. Key exercises, I always say, try and do some kind of a squat, some kind of an upper body press. I don't care if it's a bench press or a push up. Some kind of full body engagements. Core movements are huge. When
someone's getting started, what kind of rep range do you like them to start with?
I like 3 sets of 12 to 15. You can do up to 5 sets of 12 to 15. Start low weight, either no weight or just motion. Work really hard on just getting form and function. There's a ton of great videos out there. And I would just start with that. That's a good way to just kind of activate the muscle. We'll talk in another video about the differences between progressive overload, hypertrophy training versus strength training, but just 3 to 5 sets of 12 to 15 just to get your body moving, get that metabolic load going. Low resistance. Find out what you can do, nothing or low. And again, just full body weight type things are a good way to start. And then some cardio, a walk after dinner, short run, something to get going. Something within their movement range is where I usually tell people to start.
Yep. So in the beginning, just really focus on trying to feel what you're doing, get in tune with how your body's moving as you're doing the weights and the reps. Like we said, low weights, just really get used to the movement. I'd rather you do perfect form than throw up a bunch of weights. So practice that, and that's why it's always going to the gym, always working out. Everyone's trying to find different ways to target things. So just the more you can understand how your body moves, the better it's going to work for you, and the more fun it becomes.
I would say the one other thing too is gym anxiety. That's one thing we didn't really touch on yet, but a lot of people get anxious, they're nervous because everybody starts from a different area, especially people that are, either underweight or overweight. They get really nervous going to a gym. They think it's a judgy space. These people are in there. Some people are in there for physique. Some people are in there for health. It's not. It's an extremely supportive space in most cases. 99.99% of any gym I've ever been in, it's extremely supportive.
Yep.
Nobody's going to judge you in there. You're all in there for the same reason. You're there to improve your health. Everybody's there for the same reason. So try to avoid that gym anxiety. It's something that everybody kind of deals with, especially when they're starting. It's a different community than you think it is. Everybody's extremely supportive. Ask questions if people are around, and they'll usually help you out if you have some questions on how to do something. It's a really supportive community, and I think everybody should be a part of it.
And finding a partner can really help out too.
Absolutely.
Finding someone to go with you, then you have someone to keep you accountable.
Yeah, accountability, buddy.
Make sure you're there. So as we get ready to close off here, I want to challenge everybody to try to their very hardest, hit the gym for that 120 minutes or do some sort of exercise for 120 minutes this week, no matter what it takes. And after you've figured out how to get that into your schedule a little bit, it's going to take a little bit of trial and error. as you figure out if you like to go more in the morning or the evening, or where you like to fit this into your schedule, whether it's at lunch too. But hit that 120 minutes this week and
Yep.
then see how it makes a difference. And you might not notice it right away. Most people won't, but that's the fun part, is the continuous changes. No one's going to notice it overnight, but in a year from now, people are going to look back and say, what the heck have you been doing?
Yep. Yep. It's one of the easiest things you could do. And I would say, yeah, just hit that goal, make that marker. Start writing it down too. Write it down. That's
Track
a
it.
huge thing. Everybody's like, oh, I want to do it on my phone, which is fine. Paper's better. That's just psychology. But yeah, you can find out great information on our website, vitaladjustment.com, on I think every social. Dale,
Yep.
do you want to touch on that? I know you're
Yeah,
gonna.
we're slowly getting the socials rolled out. The best place to see exercises is going to be on the blog right now,
Okay.
and then probably the newsletter. That's where I'm the most consistent with. The next best place is probably going to be Instagram, as we slowly start to get more of our video content library up. So I'm going to be trying to record as many exercises as I can for everybody, so that way you can see how to do some of these movements, and make it a little bit easier. Especially with so many different names for exercises out there, it can be confusing. So try to keep it simple. I'll probably try to upload a couple of reels or clips each week to show you how to do different exercises. So bear with us as we get that rolling, but it's coming.
All right.
All right, we will
Well,
see
you have a
you
great rest of your
next
day,
week.
Dr. West. Yep.
Bye.